Hello there and good morning. The UK government will be bailing out high energy usage manufacturers with huge energy loans. As per usual, please like, subscribe and comment below. And when subscribing, please do press that little bell, but also select the all option, or you won't get any notifications when I publish a new video. Less than a week ago, it was all smiling and cheering and mutual backslapping and congratulations at the Tory party conference as Boris Johnson delivered his so-called speech of optimism. And I warned back then that a week is a long time in politics. And no sooner had Boris packed his bags for his holidays than the country began to unravel. Decades of mismanaged energy policy where only the green horse was backed, something 100% reinforced by Boris and his cabinet, remember, has just blown up in their faces, resulting in an extraordinary public spat between the Secretary of State for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, Kwasi Kwarteng, and the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak. But the Prime Minister has stepped in and he was forced to make a decision. Follow Rishi Sunak's apparent lead and watch companies and jobs collapse, or back Kwasi Kwarteng and put the UK taxpayer even further on the hook by bailing the manufacturers out. And in the end, Boris Johnson came down on the side of Kwarteng by deciding to use loans to bail out high energy usage companies that have been ravaged by this huge spike in gas prices, thus allowing them to continue to operate and people to have jobs. So we can all rest easy, the situation is saved. Well, I'm not so sure. The problem that's driving this gas price hike is a worldwide lack of natural gas to power the nations. So the money we loan to these manufacturers like steel and chemicals producers is going straight to the energy firms to buy the spiking gas prices to keep the gas-powered power stations going. That's where the problem lies, not enough gas for every country in the world. So these loans are in reality to bail out energy companies, not manufacturers. And other countries, like China, have already declared that they will pay whatever it takes to get the gas they need. And while the Chinese are snaffling up all the gas, including liquefied natural gas or LNG, that they can lay their mitts on, Putin's Russia is using gas supplies to Europe as a bargaining chip in getting his new pipeline agreed. And we're stuck in the middle, facing huge extra costs to keep warm and fed this coming winter, because successive UK governments have been too frit to grasp the energy horns of nuclear and clean burn fossil fuel technology, while the likes of solar and wind are allowed to develop. As I said yesterday, we're facing an energy crunch, but an energy crunch in this country caused by an epic own goal. That own goal being decades of ministers refusing to do the sensible thing and tell the Green lobby, no, not yet. UK energy security must come first, as we're now learning. And now we're patching the whole thing up with bailout loans, hoping the cash will find its way to the gas buyers who will then outbid the likes of China for it. And who knows, maybe Putin is engaged in some gas buying too. Short-term cost for long-term gain, even if he doesn't need the gas. Wouldn't put it past him. And these loans have to be financed by state borrowing, so the taxpayer pays the interest. Until of course the loan repayments kick in, when the same taxpayers will be facing higher prices as manufacturers charge more for their goods in order to service those loans. Now, I did a bit of back of a cigarette packet maths yesterday from 2020 official figures and worked out that about 12% of our gas was in the form of LNG imported from the Middle East. It seems I may have got that a bit wrong. According to oilandgas.org.uk, 47% of our gas comes from domestic production. 31% of it comes from net pipeline imports from Europe, and 22% is shipped to our ports in the form of LNG. So our gas supply self-sufficiency is under 50%, when it could easily be far higher. And 4 years ago we allowed our largest gas reserve to be shut down. Does that sound sensible now? So while we sit on huge, untapped gas fields of our own, we've pretended to be green by not tapping into it, while quietly importing gas to keep the lights on. So we are not green, we just export the gas production problem to someone else. And now we're facing the bleak risk of having to pay a stingingly high price for that hypocrisy. And how long is this going to persist? Well, if we are a captive customer to the few countries prepared to defy stringent self-imposed green policies that defy economic reality, then we are at the mercy of those countries' gas production and pricing policies, aren't we? Supply and demand in action. And keeping production low and prices high would be great for the planet, wouldn't it? So don't complain. It's good for us, we'll be told. But it's also great for the profits of the gas-producing countries, isn't it? So what should we do? What can we do? But before I get into that, I just want to say a massive thank you to all my Super Thanks, Patreon and PayPal supporters, as well as those that do buy a mug with my mug on it. Links in the descriptions box below. You really do help me keep this channel going. So is there a way out of this to get cheap energy back on the menu so the poorest in the UK aren't once again faced with eat or heat decisions? Well, there will be calls for more money to be paid to pensioners, for example, to cover their rising heating bills. But that means diddly squat if there's not enough gas to keep the power station spinning and the gas pipes full. As I said, it's not more government money we need, it's more gas, and quickly. But tapping into our own potential gas supplies takes money and time. And according to Oil and Gas UK, if we don't invest now, UK gas output will decline by 75% by 2030. And where do you think that will leave us when the wind doesn't blow and the sun is shrouded in cloud? Up shit creek, with any gas appliance or boiler you own being a mere lump of scrap metal. 40% of our electricity is generated by gas, and gas gives heat to and powers cookers in 23 million UK homes. No wonder the government is in such a screeching hurry to get homeowners to fork out thousands of pounds on heat pumps, etc. And maybe also why the police seem to allow Extinction Rebellion and Insulate Britain a free ride for them to force their views down our throats. And we've already seen what those organisations are prepared to do for their cause, including potentially putting human lives at risk. And as a result of governments putting all their trust in green energy, they have placed the UK, its economy, and the lives of its citizens, us, at very real risk, especially the elderly and more vulnerable. We now need a constant wind over every available turbine and a cloudless sky every day over the coming months of this winter, as well as hope we can outbid others for gas and ignore the fact that would mean other people suffering. All because governments, or more accurately the establishment, have totally ignored economic reality for years. But I suspect they will be quietly kicking themselves for not chucking these high energy use manufacturers out of the country. Why have those processes not already been consigned to China and India? They will ask. It's making us look bad, they will say. Other countries burn coal and gas to make the stuff we need for our Western lifestyle. We don't burn it. We're the good guys, they'll bleat hypocritically. And you do have to wonder what our much heralded free ports will be making if the country is soon totally reliant on the current green tech of windmills, solar panels and heat pumps, coupled with cripplingly high gas prices. So what's your opinion on our energy crunch? Please like and comment below.